Hi, this is Sarah, and today I wanted to do a little demo for you and show you how to paint with your oil pastels. Today I'm using these, which are the professional quality Grum and Baca oil pastels. And I also have my professional quality oil painting paintbrushes, some paper towel, and I've got a jar of turpentine. You could also use turpenoid to do this technique. Over here, I've got some tracing paper, and it's taped down to a board that the turpentine won't seep through. And what I've done is I've taken my oil pastels. This is my reference photo I'm working from here. This is Scargo Tower in Dennis, Mass. And I've laid down my color where I want to start painting with it, and this is what it looks like before it's all ready to go. Just gonna show you that up close here. So this is what it looks like before we start the painting technique. And this is a technique I've been doing a long time. I learned it in high school. My mother taught me, so thanks, Mom. And this is fun. It can be done really fast. It doesn't take a lot of time to do this as opposed to doing an oil painting. So I've taken my top off my jar of turpentine. I'm going to start with one of my bigger brushes because I'm going to do this sky area first. And what you're going to do is you're going to dip your brush in your turpentine over here. And then you don't want a big pool, so like that, you want to get the excess off. And I'm going to start here on the sky. And what you're going to want to do is just start brushing this and working it in. What the turpentine is doing is it's liquefying the oil pastel. And it's taking it from, you know, how it was before, and see how much more bold the colors become. And you want to have all this planned out beforehand where all your colors are going to go. And this is a painting that I have done very many of, so I'm familiar with working with the image, and it was on top, so that's why I picked it. But I really do like the colors in here because you can make them very bold. And I will, in the next video to come, talk a little bit about the different types of oil pastels or brands and compare them, show you how they work. And this blue, see, now you're brushing it on. It's a very wispy look to it. This is good for landscapes. This is what I think I've done with this technique most. Starting to work in this corner. I'm going to do this here last. And I need a little bit more turpentine on here. And this is really fun. It's something I learned when I was a kid, and I thought it was just the neatest thing every time my mother showed it to me and taught me. And I've got some really awesome memories doing this with her and doing trees and outdoor landscapes, and it's a really fun technique. And while I still have the blue on my brush and it's still wet before I clean it, I'm going to work on this area right here next. And this does go quite fast compared to like doing this as in an oil painting. Mosquito. They've been so bad this year. But see how you can, I layered in the colors. And you can see I'm using that to create the waves in the water where I put the oil pastel originally. And you have to be careful not to over turpentine because you can get spots where you lose the color or you lose your pattern. And you do want to keep some of that texture. And like with the bushes here, I'm going to work them up at the end, because you want to do your water first. You kind of want to work from, you know, your furthest point far away and then work close to you. And working that all in there. Gonna do this purple up here last. And it's almost better to have your brush a little dry and then, you know, go back and have to get another little drop of turpentine rather than have too much and, you know, leave a funny spot. And you can kind of dab your brush in here too to add some texture in the water. And the next thing I'm going to do is work on this little bit of sea here, because I've still got the blue that I'm working with. You want to make your waves nice there. All right, that looks like a good little ocean. And this is actually called Scargo Lake. It's in Dennis, Mass. Scargo Tower, it's really cool. You can go climb up in there and look over into Cape Cod Bay, and that's what we're looking at there. And what I'm doing right now is cleaning all the blue off this brush, and what I'm actually going to do is I think I'm going to switch brushes just because I don't want any of that blue in here. And what I'm going to do next is the sun, and the reason why I didn't put all that blue up in there is because I don't want my sky to turn really greenish. That would suck. So, get a little liquid on there, and then what I'm going to do is you got one shot at this. Start in the middle of your sun and work out. So go in there. And I put all those layers in the sun so they'd all blend together around this white and make it look like it was on fire. And now I'm going to blend it down into the rest of the sunrise down here. And what I'm going to do last is start to work it up into the blue. And I've always done this technique on tracing paper, and use the good tracing paper, especially with the turpentine. Don't, you know, waste money on a cheap turpentine. Alright, and now what I'm doing last here is very carefully working some of this white and blue and yellow together on the line where the sun is coming in and meeting the sky, because it's a early morning, kind of a sunrise here, which are kind of complicated colors to work together because you don't want them changing a bad color. Like, you don't want too much green in your sky. I hate when that happens. You don't want to overwork this either. I'm just gently working in the edges here. Don't like that spot. A little gold there. All right, that's coming together nicely there. Just kind of line it up there. And yeah, that's a nice abstract impression without overdoing it. And there, we're starting to get just a little wisp of the blue in there. Having it turn green. Nice sun coming up over the ocean. All right. And now I'm going to do the same thing in the water here. Being really careful with this reflection to work out. And I want to keep all those nice colors that I've put in there. And in the original photo that I'm working from, you can see how, you know, that reflection from the sun is really bright. And, you know, I've done this so many times. Obviously, that's some sun oil paint on there. Yeah. And I am not good at making stuff up. I like to work from reference photos. I don't really have much imagination when it comes to these things. And the nice thing about doing, you know, real places is that somebody might have actually been there and they might get excited about your painting or just buying a work because it's someplace they recognize. It's like, oh, we used to vacation there as a kid too. And, you know, you can really make a connection with somebody that way, and, you know, maybe they'll appreciate your artwork a little bit more. All right, we got some nice reflection in that water. And now I'm going to do this down here with the edge of Escargot Tower. And the last thing I'll do is that green. But we're on the home stretch now. And thanks for sticking with me. I know this is a longer video, but I thought you guys might really enjoy to see this because it is a neat technique. And it's better for your abstract drawings. And I'm just going to work in, and I've kind of scumbled this in here because it's actually a row of bushes. And I'm going to use the same scumbling technique here with my brush to give these bushes some character. Let's see. And where this other technique I was doing like that, more of the brushing. And I hope everybody gets a chance to go down to the Jaffrey Civic Center Saturday and see my mom out there demoing. I know everybody's put so much work into this art show, and, you know, we really do like sharing what we do and teaching people. Because that's part of art too, is learning and learning from other people. It's how you get better and new ideas and learn different techniques. I hate the way public television kind of romanticizes the idea that, you know, you can just sit down and be an amazing painter in one day. I mean, it's taken years and years for me to get where I am. I mean, I've literally been doing this since I was an extremely small child and winning awards for it. And I couldn't imagine being one of those people who went out, spent all that money on the materials from the TV show, thinking you're just gonna sit down and paint a masterpiece, and then you don't. That's actually how I wound up with a lot of my oil paints. A friend of ours, a neighbor, his mother had died and he needed money for beer, so he came over with all these. And here we go. I'm just gonna finish a little too much oil paint. Turpentine on there. See, you don't want that to run. And then we're just gonna work all these up here like this. And I'm gonna work that color up in and make my little plants here like that. And the different colors behind there, let's get some different textures going. Now we're just working them all up here. Got a little character. And I hope I taught you a little bit more about oil paints today. Yeah, just work that in there. And this will take a little while to set and dry. That's why it's good to do it on a board like this that you don't need to do anything with, but let it hang out. And yeah, there we go. That looks just about done here. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Kind of work that shoreline in there. Well, yeah, I think I'm gonna call that one good, and here we go. Is our finished product. And that's a little demo, and that is how we paint with oil pastels. And I hope you enjoyed this little talking video. Have a great day.